Yes, Columbus, an Experience Columbus podcast, keeping you in the know on what's happening in the capital city. Named a top 10 culinary destination in the world and a top 10 best big city in the U.S. by Condé Nast, we invite you to uncover what's new and what's next for our city. Join iHeartMedia's Boxer and Sarah Towns, Experience Columbus's Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer, as they connect with in-the-know guests, providing you with endless ideas for exploring Columbus. By the end of each episode, you'll be asking yourself, can all of this really exist in one city? Yes, Columbus. Hello and welcome back to Yes, Columbus, an Experience Columbus podcast. I am Boxer along with my cohort, Sarah. Sarah, welcome back.
Thanks, Boxer. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And we are so excited to be recording our latest season inside the brand new Columbus Welcome Center, located in the heart of the Short North Arts District. Each episode, we shine a spotlight on the people, places, and moments shaping the future of our city. And today's episode continues with our A Celebration of Us series, highlighting some of the incredible milestones happening in Columbus this year.
Yeah, Sarah, this is a big one, by the way. I mean, I don't have to tell you and our guests either. See, today we're celebrating 50 years of one of the most iconic sporting events in the country, the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday. And by the way, I didn't know 50 years until we were getting ready and prepping to do this episode of Yes, Columbus. And we're joined today, super excited, by Jack Nicklaus II, whose lifelong connection to the Memorial Tournament, of course, offers a unique perspective on its legacy and where it's headed. And we also want to welcome Dave Shedloski, one of the most respected voices in golf journalism. Dave, good to have you here as well, who spent decades covering the sport and telling the stories behind some of its biggest moments. Gentlemen, both of you, welcome to this episode.
Thanks. Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
So, with that, I want to say each year, the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday brings, no doubt, the best golfers in the world right here in Central Ohio, with some of the past winners, including household names like Tiger Woods, Kenny Perry, Scottie Scheffler, for example, and of course, Jack Nicklaus. It's become one of the premier stops on the PGA Tour. So what's that been like for both of you to be able to see it, especially knowing how this all started from humbling beginnings? Who wants to go first?
Dave and I are both pointing at each other.
Jack knows it longer than I do, but he's been to all 50.
Well, you think about the early on years, 1966. Dad's only 26 years of age, and wanted to do something here in Columbus similar to what Augusta had done in Georgia. And I can't imagine myself at the age of 26 having that kind of vision, but it's a reality. Our first tournament was played 51 years ago. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary, and we just left a luncheon raising great monies for Nationwide Children's Hospital. We had our inaugural champion, Roger Maltby, there. Our honoree this year, David Graham. And, of course, my mom and dad were there, which makes it very special. And my wife, Allie. And then I might add, we have Dave Shedloski with us today. He is our journalism honoree this year.
Oh,
congratulations, Dave.
Jackie, thanks for mentioning that. That's nice. Appreciate it.
It means a lot to us. You've been great.
Thanks.
And you're going to continue to be great. Not like we're talking in the past.
That's right.
Going to try.
This is your life.
Going to try. But thanks for that. Yeah. That's the thing that always amazed us about your father, Jack, is that your dad was 26 when he bought the first property. But he was only 24 when he actually started talking about it. He was talking about it with his dad and Paul Horning, who was the sports editor way back in the day in Columbus, and mentioning, and Ivor Young, who ended up buying that property for him, or at least finding it, I should say. Your dad paid for it. But 24 years old, 2 years on tour, and he's already thinking about it. And then, of course, that famous meeting he had with Ivor at the 1966 Masters. Let's go find some property. Go buy some property. Go make the dream come true of bringing an Augusta-type experience to Columbus. And, I mean, did he succeed? I think he probably even exceeded what he set out to do. Wouldn't you
did.
say?
Well, I mean, I grew up with it. Shed has actually been our, the Memorial Tournament historian, and has, kind of documented everything. He's really our voice at the Memorial Tournament. Dad's initial vision was, I think it was kind of a three-pronged approach. He wanted to bring the greatest players in the game of golf to his hometown, Columbus, Ohio, as well honor the greats of the game, those that have given so much back to the game, and then the third prong being a charitable. And I think since inception, we've raised nearly $60 million for the Greater Columbus
Congrats.
charities.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And there was a fourth prong, and that was the way he built the golf course, to make sure that spectators could really enjoy seeing golf. They didn't have to be straining to look over everybody's head.
Yeah.
And this was another vision in his 20s. And of course he finished it when he was in his 30s, but he wanted what is essentially now considered a stadium golf course. He built the first one.
Bingo. I think TPC was 1978. Of course, 74 we opened here, the first stadium golf course.
That's right. There's more history. I mean, you think about, was your dad ahead of his time?
Yeah.
Way.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a visionary. And now
Yes.
50 years, and the tournament has really helped define Columbus as a destination for world-class sports and truly memorable experiences.
Guys, what makes this, you touched on it a little bit already, but what makes this feel more than just a milestone? We talked about 50 years. It's certainly a legacy that's been built, thoughtfully over time, but just, is there anything else to add to that besides just the 50th anniversary?
Well, I can speak to just what I see, having covered the tournament. This will be my 40th anniversary of covering the tournament, too.
Wow.
So, I mean, my first one was 1986. And what we've seen over the years, and really what I think has been one of the biggest impacts is where the tour has gone in the last few years with signature events and big money events and so forth. And what I have noticed over the course of time is we don't need that designation with Jack's tournament. Jack's tournament has always been a signature event because it had his signature on it, and it was meaningful because it was hosted by Jack Nicklaus in his hometown, on a course that he built. Everything that you've seen, from the moment it started to now is really just a culmination of, what everybody else wants to designate as a signature event. That's fine if they want to call their other events that. This is one. It always has been one. And if it may have even, for a time been considered a major and probably should have been.
You were talking about what defines the event. I really think Mom, and I say Mom in the same breath as I say my father, they're a team.
Yeah.
They really looked at the event from a golfer's perspective, a wife's perspective. They paid close attention to, the press, the patrons, the caddies. Every detail they saw it because they'd been on the tour, and they had experienced all that, and they applied what they had learned, and they continue to apply what they've learned today.
That's right. I mean, they took care of the players. Tom Watson, who won, of course, the Memorial Tournament twice, and one of the greats of the game, said that, speaking of your dad, Jack handled the Memorial Tournament the way a great owner does a sports franchise, and that is he knew how to take care of the players. Mm. And that to me was like, one of the really defining, I thought, comments about Jack's approach.
Well, the Memorial is one of the first tournaments that I actually ever had the opportunity to witness from a spectator perspective. And, really didn't have a whole lot of interest in golf. I'd been around golf. I had, I know, shocking. Growing up, though, didn't grow up in a golfing family. Okay. And so with that opportunity, it has been amazing for me. I'm now taking golf lessons. We go every single year. My husband, I happen to marry a man who loves golf, and so we're trying to make that our, kind of couples pastime, especially as we get older. But when you say really takes care of not only the golfers, but the spectators, and to have that sort of stadium view, I absolutely love how you can walk around the course and be really close with the players and the action. And then, of course, there's all the other experiences and things that happen around it. So just truly exceptional. And so 50 years, Jack, I'll turn it over to you. What does that legacy mean for your family, your parents who have built this together, and to be celebrating this milestone this year?
Well, first, welcome to the game of golf.
Thank you. You do not want to see me shoot, but I'm working on it.
Can I interject one thing, and that is they're going to do a couples thing with golf. Good luck with that. I mean, you know how
that's why I'm taking lessons not from my husband.
Danger.
I'm taking lessons from a amazing golfer who was a OSU D1 athlete. So.
Oh my gosh! Well, I mean, my dad gives my mom lessons all the time. I just I shake my head as I watch it. It's not so easy to learn from your
Talk
husband.
about that family legacy, though, because I want to hear this. I know it's
the
special.
family legacy. This is largely my dad's legacy. It's his hometown.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, he wanted to bring what he loved about golf to his hometown. He's the Golden Bear, Upper Arlington Golden Bear. I was flagged the chairman of our club in the memorial tournament several years ago, but which is a humbling and a great honor for me. But my mom and dad are still very, very involved with every detail. They're both 86 right now. God bless them. They're going strong.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know how you describe legacy, except, they're good people. And I think they've done a great thing here in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, completely agree.
Jack, we could start with you. We touched a little bit about the vision and how the memorial feels a little bit different from other, invites around the country. But could I just add to that a little bit? Where did the charity component come to? Was that from the very beginning of the memorial tournament where the charity component came in?
It was actually before that. My sister Nan, as an 11-month-old, mysteriously started choking, and then she would be fine. They came to Columbus Children's, which is now named Nationwide, and they found that she had a small piece of crayon in her throat that would sometimes block her wind, and other times it wouldn't.
Wow.
And they came in, and I've heard Mom and Dad tell the story a bunch, but they put an adult bronchoscope into an 11-month-old child's throat, got the crayon out, but caused her to have pneumonia. And they didn't know if Nan was going to make it. Actually, today's her birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
It's Cinco de Mayo. We call it Cinco de Nano. But anyway.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, once Nan got out of the hospital, Mom and Dad, of course, very young, they're in their early 20s, said, Barbara, if we're ever in a position to give back and help, we want to do it for children. So I believe that, I know that was the inspiration to get back to children's healthcare.
Oh, wow.
I love that. Dave, when you hear that, and you've been covering different tournaments for decades.
Don't remind me.
You look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
How does the memorial...
Me too.
Does the memorial... compared to, and I'm not asking you to speak, bad, and you wouldn't anyway of other tournaments, but does the memorial feel different when you hear about that charity component and knowing what the memorial tournament does?
Well, yeah, it definitely feels different from that standpoint, but it feels different in so many other ways.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there was never a tournament that existed that was hosted by a player who was active. Mm-hmm. I mean, Arnold Palmer started, hosting a PGA Tour event down at Bay Hill Club in Orlando. Guess what? That was 1979. He was he was almost 11 years older than your father, and he was 3 years behind him.
Yeah,
I mean, this is that visionary stuff. So it's always felt different because you always knew, and look, you always knew that it was Jack's tournament. And that in itself made it feel different, special, important. And then you add in the charity aspect and the tradition of honoring greats of the game and so forth. I mean, there was nothing else like it. The memorial always felt like an occasion, not just a tournament.
Yeah.
And by the way, Shed has written books on both Arnold Palmer and my father. So,
Yeah, I know.
remember you told me when you went down to interview Arnold, you say, Arnold, I'm a Jack guy. So we're going to tell a great story. Which you did.
That's
It's
a great way to
wonderful
start
story.
it.
I
Great
did.
way to start your interview.
And he was okay with that. But he wanted me to help. And then, of course, the other part of that story was I had to go to Jack and say, "Hey, Arnold wants me to write a book with him." And and I think your dad jokingly said, "I'm never speaking to you again."
Oh my gosh.
And he hasn't. No.
So, Jack, you've had a front row seat to this tournament your entire life. What are some of your earliest and most vivid memories from those first years? Things were getting started.
Well, I mean, early 70s, Dad's building the golf course, and I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, playing in the mud while he designed the golf course. For the tournament, probably, it's an unusual memory, but 1984, 22 years of age, I'm caddying for my father at the Memorial Tournament. And as Dave mentioned, my dad, not only a competitor, he's the host, and pays attention to everything. Well, cigarette butts were a pet peeve of his.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All over the golf course. Well, I had these red painter pens. My mom threw them away about 5 times. I kept getting them out of the garden because I loved them. And I looked back, they were horrible looking. But anyway, literally, my dad would say, there. I was picking up, as I'm caddying for my dad, I'm picking up cigarette butts, and I literally would fill my pockets up with cigarette butts. Now, there's a little lesson there. There's no way I was going to smoke a cigarette, how disgusting that was, all these cigarette butts.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was Dad's mission to have me keep the course clean. And by the way, he happened to win that year as well.
Oh, that's really
That
cool.
was
See,
your
those
first
pants
win,
came in
right?
handy.
First big win, 84 Memorial.
Yeah, I'm saying your first win as caddy for your
Correct,
father,
yeah.
right?
The way I put it, if Dad had a decent caddy, he would have won by 10 shots. So he beat Andy Bean in the playoff.
Yeah, well, he won the 86 Masters.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I think he did okay.
I think you did well. And how long did you caddy for your dad?
Oh, over the years, 100 times.
That's amazing.
Caddied a lot.
Yeah.
Until the 2005 U.S. Open, or 2000 U.S. Open, right? Or did you do 2005 U.S. Open, or Masters?
At the Masters and U.S. Open, Steve caddied the PGA and the Open Championship. Right. And I think his last major was the 2005 British Open. It might have been the 2000s that I caddied for him.
So, yeah, because Steve was on his bag for the British in 2005.
St. Andrews.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you were probably caddying for him at the 05 Masters. So.
Wow.
Jack, I have to ask, there's pressure anyway to be a caddy for a superstar golfer. But if you don't mind, if I may real quick, he is also your dad. Jack Nicklaus is your dad. So how much pressure did you feel caddying for him?
You know what? I didn't want to be a hindrance. My dad, he relies on a caddy, but not like you see some of the guys do today. I mean, basically keep his clubs clean, get the yardages correct, and really stay out of his way. What are the 3 ups for a caddy? It's show up, keep up, and shut up.
That's right.
and I was very aware of that role for me. But
and don't throw up.
don't throw up.
I feel like that could apply to a lot of things.
But no, honestly, so I'll go to the 86 Masters.
The greatest tournament ever.
Well, let me back up a little bit. 82 U.S. Open Pebble Beach. I'm caddying for my father, and it was the last day. Dad bogeyed the first hole and parred the second hole. It's a par 5. And I felt like he gave up 2 shots to the field. So Dad goes and he birdies 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now he's in the lead of the tournament. There's about a 20-foot walk, probably a 12-foot walk from the back of 7 green to 8 tee. Now, I'm 20 years old at the time, and I've got double clenched fist, looking at Dad going, Dad, way to go. This is great. And he bogeyed the 8th hole. Now, I probably had nothing to do with it, but I kind of blame myself. Here's a guy, he's in his zone, stay out of his way. Fast forward to 86, I'm caddying for him in the Masters. And, he played well all week. He didn't make any putts early on, but kind of the floodgates opened up on Saturday and Sunday. And I knew kind of just to stay out of his way. I took any lessons that I felt like I learned or affected him in 82. I applied it to 86. And that will remain one of the most cherished times that I share with my father on a golf course.
Wow.
Very, very special. He went on to win it. And the emotions that I watched out there, my father, I was emotional, but my dad teared up as he approached every green. And, they were applauding him for just not what he was doing that day, what he stood for in his life and his career and the choices he had made. And I understood that. And it was special that Dad shared that with me.
Well, what an amazing man. You're going to make me tear up.
I know.
And I know that final putt has made, I think, pretty much every golf sports highlights reel. So that is just so phenomenal. And thank you for sharing that story with us.
I know. Guys, Dave, from your side of things, from a journalistic side, I was thinking you're all about storytelling. Is there anything that pops up with the Memorial Tournament when it comes to capturing the spirit of the Memorial for you?
Well, I mean, you get some of that every year. I hate to be, just kind of just saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal, because in some ways it's not. There's always wonderful stories related to the Memorial Tournament because of, again, what it is, what Jack has brought to Columbus, having these greats of the game or these people who have contributed, to the sport, including your mom, who was honored last year. Those things make it special because you don't see that anywhere else. You don't get that. And then, to have it all sort of put in perspective by his father when he talks about things at the honoree ceremony or when he does his press conference every year. And I mean, those are occasions you cherish them. And so you always, at least I did, I always looked at the Memorial Tournament two ways. One was, it's my event because I'm an Ohio guy.
That's right.
And this is, I want it to be the greatest one. But then it's also like, wow, this is another, we're back here. We're back at one of the great tournaments. You only really feel like that 3 times. One is the Memorial, 2 is the Masters, and 3 is, unfortunately, a tournament that no longer exists, which is the Tournament of Champions at Kapalua Resort because you're in Hawaii. And that's what we call, several of us, we always called Hawaii the 5th major just because we were in Hawaii in January, and we know what it looks like in Ohio in January. So anyway, but yeah, there's so many great memories that I have of not only with his dad, but with honorees and with tournament winners. I mean, Tiger winning it 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Of course, we've had these great players. I mentioned Tom Watson earlier. One of the most emotional wins was 96, and your dad and Tom Watson hugging. Your dad was so happy for him, and I think that's another aspect of the tournament that's really special is the handshake. And we. People sort of go like, oh, here we go, Jack's going to shake hands with the winner. Well, yeah, this is like one of the coolest things that we're going to get to see is that, Scotty Scheffler 2 years in a row shaking hands with Jack. And you're asking Scotty if he gets tired of that. And it's like, oh, no. Not just because he won, but because he won Jack's tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that impact that you see from year to year to year of the winners. I just love writing. I mean, Sundays are fun, just writing about who won the tournament and what it means to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So as you both look at how the Memorial has evolved over the last 50 years, what stands out most to you? Dave, you want to start?
I can. And what stands out most is something that is just part, I think, of the way our world is today with technology and communications and everything. You look at the old photos. Jack, you were there. I wasn't, but I see the photos. You look at the old photos of the first honoree ceremony, and it's Bobby Jones is this is Jack's hero, his father's hero. He's going to be the first honoree, and they just got, they're on the 18th hole, and they've got this nice table with a white cloth over it and the memorial logo in front of it, and there's some of the captain's club standing behind Jack, and that was it. It was you might as well have had a picnic after on that table. I mean, it was just this nice thing, and now it's a huge production. But you know what? That's cool. That's what it has become as it has evolved. You see a just sort of a kind of a neater celebration about it. I mean, you knew it was always going to be a big deal, but it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
That's how it started. And
Yeah.
here we are, and we've got these great productions, and when we honor when we celebrate the honorees.
Jack, what aspect would give you the most pride, or gives you the most pride?
I mean, I think of family and, my mom and dad. Last year we honored my mom, as Dave mentioned, and I think we had 46 family members here. And
By the way, Jack, I was not there for that moment, but can I just ask, especially for those listening to this episode, did that feel as emotional as what I would see with the highlights and TV clips on ESPN and the local news? That felt it. I could feel the emotion, but I can't imagine what it was like there for her to be honored.
No, it was very special.
Yeah.
I presented Mom at the honoree ceremony, and I was nervous about it for 11 months. I was so nervous and keyed up about it. But Mom did great. Dad did great. I actually had a producer come in, and we had my dad sing to my mom in a video.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to ask you
Have
about
you
that.
heard I Married
You
an
guys are going to
Angel?
make me cry. I'm like, this is.
Wow.
You should go back and watch
I
that.
will.
Whose idea was it? His.
I thought about that one. Dad did not want to do it. He says, no, come on. But of course, what happens when you get a camera rolling and he gets in front of the camera? He loves the stage, and he did it. He did great.
It was
Dad did.
fantastic.
But it was very emotional.
It was.
And that's the root of the memorial for me. Is we all need good role models. Our world needs good role models. And,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad are that for me.
Oh,
Great.
I love how proud you are of your parents, and I'm sure they are so proud of you. It just makes me feel like I hope my kids have the same sort of pride in the work that I do.
Well, you think about, and let me interject here. You think about what Jack and Barbara have accomplished over the course of their lives with the memorial tournament, with his father's playing career, the charitable aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not just talking about like $60 million for the memorial. We're talking about, I could tell you, the number reaches $400 million when you count all of the charity things that Jack and Barbara have done. But then you look at all of that and you think, well, how did they raise 5 kids to be as nice as they are? And
That's
that
a true
speaks to-
accomplishment.
That's the thing, because not a lot of people, even if they're home a lot, they might not have an impact on their children the way Jack and Barbara did.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Before I met you gentlemen today, I was very intimidated, and I could feel the warmth right away being introduced to you, both, Jack, especially you. So it doesn't surprise me at all. And you can see it. It's not just actions. It's also walking that walk as well.
Right.
Was something I've always wanted to know, Jack, when it comes to where the memorial is, which is Dublin, Columbus. How did that all start? I've always wanted to know what made that the place. There's got to be a little story of how it was built there and why there. Why is it the perfect place?
Well, I mean, it was very little development out there. Dave mentioned earlier that, it's really kind of 4 guys: Bob Hogue, Ivor Young, Pandel Savick, and my father. Those 4 are the founders of the memorial tournament. And Ivor was in real estate. And after the Augusta in 1966, I didn't realize it was actually 64, but
When he started just sort of,
thinking about it.
well, they had the PGA in 64 here. Your father, unfortunately, finished second to Bobby Nicklaus. He tied Arnold for second. And the success of that PGA was off the charts. The PGA of America had never seen so many people at a PGA Championship for a practice round, as they did in '64 at Columbus Country Club. And your father, and Ivor speaks to this in the book that we wrote, Ivor speaks to this and said Jack immediately understood that a tournament could work in Columbus based off of that championship because Columbus turned out for it.
The wheels started spinning.
So that got his head spinning. He didn't do anything. The true beginning is '66. The Catherine Flowers property is the first one he bought. That was just outside of Dublin. And it went from there.
And I think they looked at 11 different properties.
He found 11.
This was the first one that they saw. Well, story is it's the first one they saw.
But Ivor's story is, when I interviewed Ivor about it way back in the day, they saw a property off of the Olentangy River. It was okay. And by the way, they not only saw properties in Columbus, Ivor found like places in like Zanesville.
Oh,
and some
wow.
other places. I mean, he went all over central Ohio basically. So they go to the one at Olentangy. It's okay. So then this is the second one. And Pete Dye was with your dad. They had just started working on some courses together after '65 at the golf club in New Albany. And Jack says to Pete, what do this seems pretty good. I mean, it had streams, it had rolling land, it had mounds that, in fact, your father didn't even have to move to make some of the gallery sites that you can see from. And Pete Dye, who's from Urbana, Ohio, by the way, he turned to your dad and said, Curly? And I don't know why he called your dad Curly, but he said, Curly, this is the best property you're ever going to find without, oceans or mountains,
Yeah.
And then by September of '66, he had bought it. And it was the second one. Your dad says the first. I always laugh about that because it was like, nah, it's the second.
You heard it here first, dispelling the myth.
It's crazy you mentioned Pete Dye because PB Dye, Pete's son, called me yesterday.
Did he?
I haven't talked to PB in 5 years. He had 4 or 5 pictures of Dad and Pete on Hilton Head doing the design.
Yeah, and that always makes me kind of honks me off too because your dad never gets credit for Hilton Head. They always say, oh, it's a Pete Dye golf course. No, it's actually a Jack Nicklaus Pete Dye golf course. Yeah. And, oh, by the way, it was your dad's deal. They hired your dad, and he brought in Pete Dye.
That's true.
So it's one of those history things. You're like, every time they say Pete Dye golf course, I go, no, Jack Nicklaus Pete Dye. Yes,
for sure.
Wow.
Jack Nicklaus Pete Dye golf course.
So much history and insights.
Right?
I love it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be showing off.
We appreciate
As
it.
I said, he's our historian.
You are. This is
Puts together our memorial magazine every year, among other things.
Well, and I better be right because I wrote that story in the history book that it was the second site, Olentangy, the whole thing. So if it's wrong,
I yield.
We're citing you as a source. Yes,
and
exactly.
your dad's going to think it's wrong, but it's not.
So, Dave, from a national perspective, how has the memorial shaped Columbus's perception? I mean, you talked a little bit about the, PGA event that happened here, and then now we've got 50 years of the memorial, and it just keeps growing and evolving.
You're talking about
just from like a media and what has it done for the awareness and perception of Columbus?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like what's the media perception
Media
of
impact,
Columbus?
yes, yeah.
Well, it's international, the impact, because not only have we had, this will be the 51st Memorial Tournament, as Jack said, but we've had a Ryder Cup here in 1987 where we had, huge throngs of European fans here cheering on. Unfortunately, they won that one. And then we've had a President's Cup here in 2013 with an international team. We had a Solheim Cup here in 1998. We've had a U.S. Amateur here. We've had a Junior Amateur here. We've had a lot of other events that have come to Columbus. So I think that the perception is this is one of the places where you have big events, in addition to the, arguably one of the greatest events on the PGA Tour. So it's pretty good for Columbus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's good. We'll take it.
It's on the map.
It's on the map.
Yep. Big time.
Guys, this is something, and Jack, you're probably going to think, it's such a softball question, but it is an important fabric of the Memorial Tournament, the milkshake. So do each of you have like a to-go order, or can maybe add any favorite, memories tied to that?
You want me to go first?
No, you go first, Dave.
Well, I can tell you that I never. We have some media people who think that they have privileges that they really don't have. And I'm not going to name any names, but they like to go in and get milkshakes throughout the week. And I don't feel that that's right, because that's in a portion of the golf course in the clubhouse where it's for the players that week. And I might go in there and say hi to somebody, but I'm not going to go in there and go, hey, can I have a milkshake? Just don't do it. No, I do get one a year, and we have our annual media dinner on Wednesday night. And yeah, I will have the Buckeye milkshake, and I don't even like Reese's cups or anything like that. But you give me a Buckeye shake, and
You're all about it.
I go to town on that baby every year. But I only have my one. That's my only one.
And could I say anything else but a Buckeye shake?
I don't think so.
Right? No, that is my favorite. It's good.
What's your dad's and mom's
yummy.
favorites? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know. They go back and forth from chocolate to vanilla. Every once in a while, a Buckeye. No, they're really good. And I've kind of felt like Shed was setting me up here to say that the media is welcome to come get milkshakes, or we'll bring them to you.
That's good. That's nice.
Right. But, look, you don't want to take it. I never feel like you take advantage of a situation.
Sure.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying. But, of course, as gracious hosts as they are, that they don't mind. I just don't feel like I should do that.
Can I just quickly ask, since we're all about history here with the Memorial, any idea how that started, Jack or Dave? Do you know?
Dad loves ice cream.
Okay.
I don't know many people that don't love ice cream.
Yeah.
There's superlatives on the tour. The best conditioned golf course, the nicest locker room, the best hospitality. And one of them is the best milkshake on tour. And we went back and forth with Castle Pines out in Denver, Colorado, and the Memorial Tournament. I think we've won that superlative every year except 1 year. Dad went through this health food kick where he said, no, we're not going to use I want to say we use Haagen-Dazs rich full test ice cream. He said, you know what? We should be using no sugar, no fat.
Oh, no.
He did.
Oh, no.
We did this for a year. We lost the superlative. Of course, the next year we went back to the So enough of this healthy stuff. Oh, yeah.
I never heard that story. That's a good
Oh, my
story.
gosh. People probably got their Buckeye milkshake. Like, what happened here?
He almost killed a tradition, Jack.
Brought it back.
That's good. I thought you were going to say a green smoothie or something.
Oh,
so
my
at least,
God.
at least you
Right.
tried.
Oh, wait, no, we have those.
Yeah.
Don't we have those health smoothies in
The tour's gotten very healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're bringing a lot of nutrition.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, we're just here promoting the milkshake. No, it's good. But
don't blame
those are the memories and the little moments of the tournament that people
That's
love
a question
and look
I
forward
think you
to.
ought to bring forward is why don't they do they sell those out on the golf course, the milkshakes?
Yes, we started doing that about 2 years ago.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
Long
There you
lines.
go.
Long lines.
Marketing baby. Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Well, so how else has the fan experience evolved over the last couple of years? Obviously,
that's a good
selling
question.
milkshakes, but what other things have really changed to get the fans more connected with the experience overall?
Well, I can tell you that we have seen an explosion of hospitality at the golf course, and that's all due to the popularity of the event and making sure that fans have the greatest experience that they could have. And part of that is, what Dan Sullivan and his team have done to really give sports fans in Columbus more options to, really just digest the Memorial Tournament in the ways they want to see fit. And it's fantastic what people can do there and enjoy.
I agree, Dave. And golf's a little bit different than other sports where you can have such close interaction with the competitors. The guys are right there. As Dave mentioned, it's a great experience for everybody. Please come out to the Memorial. We'd love to have you out there. We've got the best players coming in town, and we're excited about another year.
No, that's awesome. So Really quickly, Jack, next 50 years, what is on the horizon? What are you excited about? Any projections, anything you can share with our listeners?
I mean, I think the athletes are getting better and better, so it'll be interesting to see how golf evolves. It's amazing how far these guys hit the golf ball. There's been a lot of conversation about, is it going too far? We've had to actually adjust the golf course continually to adjust for that.
I've heard that,
But I think golf is really healthy right now. We've got great leadership in the PGA. Dan Sullivan, as Shed mentioned, his crew, our tournament director, Dan Sullivan, does a great job. I'm going to hang on as long as I can. I mean, I'm getting old myself. We both are.
I think you're a year older than me.
Yeah, it's... don't give up any secrets.
Don't worry, we're not going to guess ages. It'll be all right.
Years, but
It's what is it? It's the rusted years, not the golden years. We've got some. We're getting a little gray, or is it silver?
a little. You look good. This one.
Well, thank you. You need glasses.
I've heard that.
But anyway, no, it's a tremendous honor to carry the torch, and I'm hopeful that Mom and Dad are going to be around for a lot more years.
And let me interject too that going back to what I said about what Jack and Barbara have done in shaping the lives of their kids. I mean, you never want to think about 50 years from now, none of us will be here, but somebody will be here to carry the torch.
Yeah.
And we know that he has provided a base for his children to do likewise. I mean, there's been this, just such an example set by Jack and Barbara that he can carry on their legacy, and then that legacy can carry on. And I know that, whatever happens, the Memorial Tournament's going to be in great hands for a long, long, long time.
Absolutely.
So, Jack and Dave, if you don't mind, I want to do a quick rapid fire. Sarah and I want to do that with you real quick. Just some real quick hitters. Favorite hole or location at Muirfield Village?
Favorite hole or location? Well, for me, it's the 14th hole, although I am partial to the 9th. I love the scene of the 9th green. And your dad says that's like one of his least favorite. And I'm like,
what do you know?
Never mind. But and I love 14 because it's the options.
14 was my hole, so I got to pick something else. I'll say 18.
Okay.
I think 18 requires two really good golf shots, and of course, the sea of gallery as these players finish up is an exciting moment.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing every first-time attendee has to do or can't miss.
Well, you got to get out on the golf course. You got to show up and be there. I would say go to the honoree ceremony. It tells you a lot about the foundation of our tournament.
I would agree with that, and I'd also say after you do that, go to Memorial Park and read about all of the honorees, including Jack and Barbara Nicklaus. We have monuments to all of the honorees over the course of, I think we're at 87 or 89 honorees now.
Awesome.
I love that. Gentlemen, we talked about the milkshakes already. Is there any other go-to snack or drink that's a must-have?
I mean, I mentioned how nutritional the tour is getting.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, they're really eating healthy. I'll just say that. The milkshakes is not the only thing we have. Chef Stephen Detmer does a great job. So everybody is fed well.
I don't know if they can get it, but I love the 5750 salad at the club.
It's really good.
That is a phenomenal salad.
Okay.
And you know why it's called 5750?
Put these on the blog.
Okay.
Yes.
But I do not. What?
It's our address.
Oh, it's the address. Okay.
Street
I love
address.
that.
Pretty
Okay.
simple, right?
But it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good.
Now you know.
And then one word to describe the atmosphere of the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday.
Respectful.
I like it.
Gratitude.
Guys, favorite behind the scenes or only at the memorial moment?
Well, I mean, behind the scenes, and there's so much going on behind the scenes, but one particular group that comes together every year is the Captain's Club. Wednesday after the honorary ceremony, on Joe Dye's direction, back when Dad formed the Memorial Tournament, suggested that he bring the leaders of golf together and help select the honoree each year and guide the Memorial Tournament. and that's what the Captain's Club members do every year. I was asked to observe them probably, 30, 35 years ago, and I was asked to join the club a couple of years ago. So that's behind the scenes. It's very special to our fabric.
I don't have any behind the scenes except when I get to maybe have some one-on-one time with a player or whatever that tends to be special. And of course, your dad's the all-time leader in the clubhouse in one-on-one interviews and scrums and all the stuff that that he does on our behalf to facilitate coverage of not only his tournament but golf in general.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. We also like to ask, outside of the Memorial Tournament, what's a classic Columbus experience you always come back to? Jack, you want to start?
Well, I was going to say.
Okay, Dave.
I live here, so I don't have to come back to any of that. But my classic, Columbus experience, other than
Sports?
Yeah, I don't get out for sports here much
It
because
could be
I do
food.
so many
It could
sports.
be anything that you just enjoy doing in the community.
Well, it was walking my dog. I just like doing things like going to the Short North and having a nice dinner or something. I'm a pretty I'm
Pretty simple.
I'm an old guy, so we don't
no,
do a
you're
lot
not.
of things anymore. But stuff like that. There's so many different things to do here in Columbus from a dining standpoint.
Yeah.
And so I just always am trying to look for something new to try.
We do have an amazing culinary scene, and we're always happy to
know.
recommend if you need any
I know.
recos.
Yes,
How about
we
you
are.
when you come back here?
Well, if it's not for the tournament, I mentioned sports. I mean, how do you do any better than OSU football?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Memorial Day. I mean, I always associated coming into Ohio with. I live in Florida, and we have warm weather pretty much year round. Well, this area comes alive Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, people are outdoors and take advantage of the sunlight. So the Memorial Tournament, honoring our veterans. It's a special time of year here in Ohio.
It is. It
really
is. Kicks off the whole summer around here.
I'm sorry, I didn't go to Ohio State, so I just went to the tailgates here in the last.
Well, that's a cool thing, too.
The game was
Hey.
sort of ancillary to whatever interest I had
Tailgate
in.
tourism. It's a
There you
big
go.
trend right now. You're good. You're right on trend.
Gentlemen, one final question. What are you saying yes to in Columbus right now?
Well, I'm definitely saying yes to any time that I can spend time with Jack too, or his father, or his mom. That to me is like the occasion of the year is the Memorial Tournament, seeing them. I know it sounds corny, but I love these guys.
No, it
I love
doesn't. It's
being with
awesome.
them. They've been they've been gracious to me over the years, and they don't have to be, but that's how they were raised. Again, this is how these people grew up. The example of his father and mother and so forth. And so, you always feel special being around these people. You just feel special being around the Nicklaus family.
Yeah.
Saying yes to the Nicklaus family.
Correct.
I like it.
I like that. I guess you want me to comment.
I think you would comment being around me.
Obviously.
Yeah. Special. Honestly, like this morning, getting up and mom having a cup of coffee with mom and dad reading the paper and just how do you ever say anything but yes to that?
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Kind of brings back like being a little kid almost, or at least growing
It's,
up. Kind of.
yeah, family grounds you.
Yeah.
Brings you
Yeah.
back.
Well, Jack II and Dave, we can't thank you enough for stories that I had never heard of before, and to learn so much more about the meaning behind the Memorial Tournament and how it all started. And I got such an education today. This has been a real treat, and to see what the Memorial has done 50 years in and where it's going next, how it's shaping the city. Thank you both for being here. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And that's what the series is all about, celebrating the moments, the people, and the traditions that define Columbus.
And by the way, to learn more about the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday or to purchase tickets for the tournament happening June 1st through the 7th, just visit thememorialtournament.com. If you happen to be looking to explore more or just planning your trip, you can also check out our local golf guide created by the team at the Greater Columbus Sports Commission at 614, that's FORE.com. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of Yes, Columbus, an Experience Columbus podcast. Tune in next week as we take you on a tour of what's new, what's hot, and what makes Columbus a city on the rise.